Recht, dies ist nicht mein...
The European Union is facing a deep internal fracture. A major push to suspend its cooperation deal with Israel has collapsed, blocked by its two biggest powers, Germany and Italy. At a high-stakes foreign ministers' meeting in Luxembourg, what was meant to be a decisive moment instead exposed a divided Europe, unable to act even as conflict intensifies across Gaza, Lebanon, and the West Bank. Germany drew a hard line. Berlin rejected the suspension proposal outright, calling it inappropriate. Instead of cutting ties, it is pushing for continued engagement with Israel, even as criticism mounts over war conduct, settler violence, and adherence to international law.
We consider something like this inappropriate. Nevertheless, it is, of course, necessary to talk to Israel about the critical issues. We have expressed our criticism regarding the introduction of this death penalty. We have previously warned against it, warned against taking this step. There is also a very clear position on settler violence. I expect the Israeli government to confront this settler violence more clearly, firmly, and with all the means of the rule of law. We also have a clear position on the adherence to international law. This means that there must not be any annexation in the West Bank. We continue to insist that a two-state solution must be made possible.
Italy quickly aligned with Germany, effectively sealing the outcome. But Rome paired its support with sharp criticism. It condemned settler violence, rejected annexation in the West Bank, and raised concerns over civilian harm and religious tensions. Despite that, Italy made it clear it would not back suspending the EU-Israel agreement, instead pushing for targeted sanctions on individuals rather than broad economic measures.
I believe it is better to sanction those individually responsible, I am thinking of violent settlers, to increase and strengthen sanctions. But I do not believe that blocking a trade agreement is a useful tool because it ends up affecting the Israeli population in general, which often has nothing to do with the actions committed by the military that are then attributed to the government. So we remain firmly cautious on this. No initiative will be taken today. We have a position similar to that of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Not all member states agreed. Spain, Ireland, and Slovenia pushed for stronger action, citing alleged human rights violations and worsening humanitarian conditions. They argued the European Union cannot remain silent as violence escalates and international law is questioned. But their calls for bold and immediate action failed to shift the balance of power. At the center of the deadlock is a simple rule: unanimity. Without all 27 member states on board, the EU cannot suspend its agreement with Israel, and that threshold proved impossible to reach.
Some member states today proposed a full or partial suspension of the EU association agreement, as well as for restrictions on trade coming from settlement, and others were expressing their opposition to such proposals. Given that the suspension of the association agreement needs unanimity, there was no support for this needed in the room. And the measures that we have already on the table that require qualified majority will require states shifting their position. We didn't see that today, but these discussions will continue.
The result is a bloc caught between values and realpolitik. Even those openly criticizing Israel stopped short of supporting punitive action, exposing the limits of Europe's resolve. With tensions rising across multiple fronts in the Middle East, The EU is now left inching towards smaller steps, targeting individuals instead of states, while avoiding a direct confrontation.